Welcome to Talks Tuesdays, a series dedicated to empowering youth and families. This series is brought to you by Saint Foundation Inc., where advocacy meets education for the betterment of young minds. Each month, we explore meaningful topics designed to inspire growth, spark creativity, and equip our listeners with the tools they need to thrive. I'm Melanie Alvarez, your host and peer educator. This month, we're diving into a theme that holds incredible power over how we approach life, challenges, and our personal growth. The power of possibility. We are going to explore how growth mindset can change your year and your life. A growth mindset is more than just an idea. It's a way of thinking and a way of approaching obstacles and a way of seeing failure as a part of learning process. Whether it's about your studies, your goals, or your personal growth, adopting a growth mindset can help you unlock your true potential and find your true success even in the difficult situations. We'll be discussing how the right mindset shapes everything from how we talk ourselves to how we bounce back from the setbacks. Over the 4 weeks, we'll learn how to turn challenges into opportunities and embrace failures as a growth and keep building confidence with each other's goals. Are you ready to shift the way you approach challenges? Let's dig in and find out how to make positivity, growth, mindset, and work for you. Over to you, Amaya.
Hi, everyone. So, my first question is, how does self-talk influence self-esteem and confidence?
Is that an open question to anyone, or are you directing it to someone in particular?
It's open for anyone, so whoever wants to go first.
Okay, then I'll take it. This is one of those speak over yourself questions, right? Because I myself have been married for 20 years, and I've just recently learned that my husband is a very negative person. Like, you can say, "Sir, you look good today," and he'll be like, "So I was ugly yesterday?" Don't do that. Don't do that. Meanwhile, I'm the type of person you can walk up to me and be like, "You are looking good today." I'm like, "I try to do what I do," you know what I'm saying? Because I woke up and I told myself, "You beautiful," and then I believed it because I believe in myself. You got to speak over yourself at all times, because what you tell yourself becomes your truth. So speak over yourself with nothing but positivity, because then you'll walk in that same light. But if you are walking with that bad energy, all you're going to get is bad energy. You're going to feed into bad energy. You're going to give that bad energy to other people. Other people going to be like, "Ugh." Speak over yourself.
Yeah, I definitely agree with speaking over yourselves. It's important um to shape how you truly talk to you because that spreads to others. So if you talk to yourself negatively, if you talk down to yourself, if you really tap into the lack of confidence versus, the things that you are confident in, those traits, those habits, they spill into your relationships. So as you say, "Oh, I look good today," you'll begin to say that to your friends. You'll begin to say that maybe to your classmates, to a teacher or something like that, of course with respect. But as you speak to yourself, those common compliments, those great affirmations you may speak over your life definitely bleeds into your family, and that light radiates all the time. So if you started off with "Okay, Locks," as soon as I logged in, I'm like, "Okay, Locks," because I appreciate my locks, so that starts with you. So it's truly important that we do that often with ourselves, but then of course it spills into others.
I guess it's my turn. Okay, locks. I see him, right? Afro puffs, you know what I'm saying? Um, this is ironic. You see my screen go off a few times. So this is where we are in real life, where like real life intersects social media commentary, like in real time. Because as my screen was going off, it was purpose. My grandson, who starting kindergarten tomorrow, came in and he wanted to watch something on TV, and I had to tell him no. So he was very opinionated when I told him he couldn't want a certain thing. So I had to keep telling myself positive affirmations. I am a great peepaw, and I'm not gonna, discount his input on what he wants to watch. So I say all that to say, when we talk about the mindset, it's great to talk about it and put it into existence, but then it deserves some action behind it. Like you can't just say, you gotta do, right? But I think that goes to what are you telling yourself? When we talk about the mindset, we talk about talking it into existence. If you if you're afraid to fly and you say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna jump out of a plane for my 50th birthday, you just ain't gonna do that on the day of your birthday. Like you ain't gonna wake up. You already scared to fly. You ain't even crossed that bridge yet. That's a bridge too far already. So I think about when we talk about the growth mindset, it's like being mindful of the step process to get you to the place where you want to go. So when you do say it and you're trying to grow into that mindset, it's something you can accomplish. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you're trying to say, look, I'm gonna get a straight A on this quiz next week, in the meantime, you should probably be saying, oh, okay, I'm going to study today for an hour and knock that out. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's a process to the mindset and being mindful of what you can actually grow into instead of kind of setting yourself up for failure. That's me.
Smitty, I'm glad, I'm proud of you. You didn't let that 5-year-old bully you into thinking you were a bad peepaw.
Now I'm a Panther. He don't know. I'll get up on him. I'll raise up on him.
I gotta say, I love the question, right? Because we talk about like how that self-talk spills back over into self-esteem and confidence. And what you two ladies kind of said in the beginning is exactly that. I think things become a ripple effect, right? And they become cycles. And I love Leah, like she done brought a husband into it. Look, he ain't even know he was gonna be part of the show today. Look, we sorry in advance. But just to think like how you went back and said, I just realized how negative, he thinks. When you hear it consistently, it becomes the norm.
Amen.
Oftentimes it becomes overlooked. And until either someone acknowledges and brings it up, or you're looking to make a change within yourself, then you realize just how much negativity is around you. And I think self-reflection, I know we talked a lot about self-reflection last week. I think self-reflection also plays a role in that. But again, the more positivity you can bring into your life, the better your confidence will be. The better that self-esteem becomes. And it's not even just about you doing it. Surround yourself with people that do it, because then there'll be that constant reminder as well for you. Yes, Mick.
Uh,
Uh-oh, did he freeze?
Think so.
Easy when we start talking about the
Okay,
growth
we got
mindset of being positive, right? And I don't want to go off to a whole different tangent, sis. You know how I get. But
Well,
especially
we're gonna keep you brief because we
keep me
answering the
brief.
question at
Keep me
hand.
brief. Keep me brief. For men, young brothers out there, it's okay. There's a fine line to be confident, positive affirmations, and cocky and conceited. As Black men, it's not often that love is attached to us and this deep feeling of being accepted. So I had posted something that's ironic. I posted something today. Performative tolerance is not love. It's condoning false propaganda. So bruhs, it's okay to look fly. It's okay to have a fade. It's okay to have your locks. It's okay to look good, feel good, and dress good, and all of that comes with it. So when your wife, your spouse, your girlfriend, or whatever gives you a positive affirmation, man, just accept it as grateful and humbly as you possibly can, and then live in that moment. Don't come back with the passive aggressive. I'm not saying my brother was passive aggressive. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, accept that. You know what I'm saying? We need to become accustomed to saying, hey, bro, you look good. You know what I'm saying? And not kind of take it somewhere because we're not comfortable with that. I guess that's what I'm saying. Brief, sis. Look at that brief.
Thank you for that.
Um, I think this one kind of connects to what came up from the first question, but how can we replace self-criticism with self-compassion through self-talk?
Acknowledgement is key.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. Yeah, because if you don't even realize you're doing it,
It's
you
all of
won't
these
even know
things.
to change it.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is one of those things that you have to recognize. So, and you know what, the way to begin, like even if you don't think that you are, the best way to begin to speak over yourself positively is to just do it for no other reason than wanting to create some self-improvement within yourself. So even if you think that you're a relatively positive person, I would suggest that people begin to use affirmations anyway, regardless. I've always felt like I was a pretty positive person. And then I started listening to positive affirmations in the morning, and not just those mantras that are just like, I am beautiful, I am kind. No, I listen to songs. So I've got a Spotify playlist, and I've got songs on my Spotify playlist that are positive in nature, and they speak not to just, being a positive person, but also speaking about wealth and speaking about, building yourself up. And so if you listen to positive songs that, speak to positive affirmations, and I can drop you my playlist, but it will begin to change your mindset. Even if you feel like you're already a positive person, just do it anyway. Build yourself up that way.
Yeah. I recommend give yourself credit before you criticize. I'm working with my therapist. Literally, I went to therapy yesterday, and I was just telling her about some of the things that I was able to like accomplish in the month of July. And I was just giving the glory to God, really just appreciating like my friend circle, my parents, and things like that. And she asked me, like, have you thought about giving yourself any credit for some of the things you were able to do? And it really had me thinking about like, dang, I really didn't give myself credit before I started to criticize the growth that I thought I may need moving forward into August and September. Just me trying to, set those milestones. So if you think maybe you're having a difficult class, you're having a difficult relationship, you're having something that's going on, how can you commend yourself on the things that you have been able to accomplish or the growth you have exuded maybe from last week, last month, or 2 years ago, and then move forward with, okay, I handled this situation a little bit better than I may have in the past, but this is how I can, just kind of critique myself a little bit or give myself that constructive criticism. So I think it's truly important to give credit before you criticize, just how we would our friends, family, and things like that. Do the same for us, so we have that tangible process of this is the good, and then let's go with the not so good, or maybe the things we can grow in.
I love that. Compliment sandwich yourself. I love it.
I think I froze myself somewhere back and I missed like part of it. But I know there was a question about I think, defining the words, compassion, positive affirmations. I think it's really important to define what it is you're trying to be positive about. Especially, I mean, because words are thrown around right now that are just low hanging fruit, like compassion, empathy, success, right? Um, but I think it's all relevant to the individual. So I think you have to really take a self account of what it is you're trying to accomplish, kind of put it out and mark it out as a step by step plan, and define what those words that relate to that mindset is or are, so you can kind of go there without wasting time. And I know that sounds like a lot of word salad, but I really think it's for young people especially is defining the word itself. Because if you're trying to grow into that mindset, then what is a mindset? You know what I'm saying? I think it's really important that you define those words for your own benefit, if that makes sense.
Thank you guys. Okay, my next. Oh, did you have something to say? No, I don't know the name. Last name was Perez. You
Oh,
unmuted.
no, I did not have any.
Okay. I was just making sure. How can parents and teachers help teens develop positive self-talk habits?
Being positive themselves.
Yeah,
Because again, it radiates off of you. If you've ever walked in a classroom, you just see your teacher, you can tell when they're having a bad day. You can tell when they're feeling lower in confidence. Like I had some teachers that would dress down, like come looking very nice, board would be clean, just how they maintain the classroom. You can tell when their self-esteem is low, when they're having a rough time. So one, parents and teachers and faculty as well, because it's important who you see in the hallway and how they treat you with authority, but with also affirmation and also, just a little bit more kindness, not niceness, kindness. It's two different things. But truly just being supportive of, okay, I'm weak in this moment. How can I redirect my energy? Because it's going to be on these children for the rest of the week, like literally the rest of the week. So it starts with them doing what we talked about on question one, so it can radiate for the whole school year. Because week one is real cute, but week two, you can tell when the fields start happening and when they start having bills and when it's the first of the month. You can tell, like you can tell. So it's important for parents and teachers and faculty to do what we said, with that good self-talk, positive affirmations, defining those words. Maybe they don't know what success looks like for themselves. So it's doing what y'all are doing right now, like literally.
yes, yeah. We got to be a model. And I think my daughter in particular, I didn't realize this until she probably hit her teen years, but she's definitely an empath. And what she could sense in me when my energy was off and I wasn't in the best moods or the best positivity or just, not being my best me, she can feel it and she would absorb it. And then you would see her walking around with bad energy. And it was like, what in the world is wrong with you? But she was just absorbing it. And so we have to always be a model for those that we are supposed to be representing and in charge of, that we are teaching, that we are leading, so that they can always feel that light that we want to put out in the world.
Yeah, again, just to piggyback on that, and it's probably gonna sound like a broken record, but young people model the behavior in their environment. So I think it's also crucial that in a very weird way, and it's unfortunate, but it's the reality of our life, is that I know my generation is, first generation removed from a lot of oppression. And some things weren't necessarily given to us freely to understand or advocate for ourselves, or to how to entertain positive affirmations, how to be that, because it was more or less be seen and not heard, right? So now me growing as a father, I just took what I learned from my parents. And so I struggled with that role model representation. But now that I see it, I understand it, our ancestry of behavior and our generation of greatness is now being shown to us in true form. I think it's crazy in the world we live in that even because you young folks and what you're doing right now is time also for parents to learn what it looks like to have positive affirmations. And it's almost kind of, man, I hate to say it, but it will kind of build in a plane as we fly it because, like I said, myself, I'm still learning this. And now my children are, they're learning it as well. So I think it's helpful to keep the lines of communication open, that we can all kind of just learn and grow together and be the reflective representation of the model that we want to exhibit to the outside world.
I love, 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 love what all three of you said. So I know, literally listening to Leah and Desiree, I'm like, yes, it is. It's about showing. I love what Smith came back and said, right? What happens when they don't know how to show it? is what we're getting from that portion, right? And this is where I put the challenge on my teens. Okay. Sometimes you got to be the cycle breaker. So as where your parents may not know how to do the positive affirmations, they may have come from a family of negativity. Be the change. So recognize how you feel when you're hearing those negative words or when you're seeing negative things, and change that.
Yes.
You could be in school, right? And I love what Desiree said. You definitely know walking into a teacher's room when they done had it. It had nothing to do with you in your class, but the class before came in acting a donkey. Now they mad and they taking it out on everybody after that, right? We may not be able to change what somebody else does, but we are able to choose how we respond.
Yes.
It's a
You can be
choice.
the light. You can be the light.
Right.
You can be
It's
the
a
light
choice.
that turns that person's day back around.
Yes, exactly. So I know that we say a lot about, like, yes, you will feel other people's energy and oftentimes you will mimic it, but just remember you're choosing to mimic it.
Amen.
It's a choice because you control you. You control those feelings. You control your actions. And so make the choice to be the light. Make the choice to be the positivity in the classroom that's negative. And watch how many follow suit after you. Because again, people will follow. People follow a thing that they see. Give them the thing to follow.
Yeah, that's good, especially as we start new year in school and things like that. I'm sure some of you in honors, gifted, like, AP classes, whatever. Or you may be just in your normal class, your regular classes. And especially when you're smart, when you get your work done, you're a leader in academics or you're a social leader. So when the students around you are kind of having that negative energy or like, man, we don't even want to do, why we got 20 questions? Like, oh man, like, I don't want to go to practice. I don't like practice. Like, you bringing that positivity does help. I know I was in some classes and like, like, y'all, it's not that bad. Just go ahead and get it done. Just turn it in to Miss Johnson later. Like, just putting in like, it's not that bad. We got this. Like, it's okay. Like, keep going. We going to practice because we want to do good. I was a weightlifter. So like, we want to lift, right? We want to win. We want to make it a state. We want to go to Metro. We want to, so, so just putting out those little pockets of peace, pockets of positivity does help your friends. And also it does brighten up your teacher's day, maybe faculty, just so they know you're supportive, you're positive, you contribute to positive conversations and energy. So that's important that you make that choice even when everyone else around you has decided this is a negative thing. So that change agent mindset is important too. I love what you were saying, Abby, with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. My next question is, what are some examples of negative self-talk that people should be aware of, especially our students?
Oh, this one
Yeah,
right
look,
here.
she like, I'm ready. Look,
Oh, tag me in.
we're like,
Let me
tap
tell you
me in.
something that drives me crazy that my daughter has done since she was little. I've tried to like beat out of her is I can't. I can't. I can't. I don't know how I can't. Oh, it's one of the worst things for me to hear, not just my child, but any child say, is that I can't. Well, you can't now. But if you take the time to learn, if you take the time to practice, you can. You absolutely can. You are capable. You are able. You have the potential. So when someone says they can't, they are telling themselves, they are literally stopping themselves from doing, from being, from achieving, because you've already put out in the atmosphere that that's not something that you can even do, achieve, be, succeed at. So stop telling yourselves that you can't do something. If there's something that you want to do, and the first thing your mind tells you is, I can't do that. Nope, cut it out, throw it away, stop right there, halt, don't pass go, don't collect $200, figure out how. If you can't figure out how by yourself, go ask somebody. If you don't have nobody that you can ask, go jump on YouTube University, Google it, watch a TikTok video, practice until you blue in the face, and watch and see how capable you are when you just try.
You better say that, sis. Look, because that is a real. I can't is one of the biggest things. But also, when something doesn't go your way, the one that I hear the most, oh my God, I'm so stupid. You're not stupid at all. You guys are actually very smart. Very, very smart. And I feel like the I'm stupid is like your way of downplaying a disappointment. It's okay to be disappointed. We get disappointed. It's a feeling, right? We're allowed to feel disappointed, but you're not allowed to call yourself names. So we want to speak better about ourselves and understand that disappointments happen and it's okay. It's what we choose to do with that disappointment after. It's a lesson. I know we talked a lot about that one last week too, about lessons that we learned along the way. It's a lesson. So stop calling yourself stupid and stop saying the words I can't. Look, come on. What else we got? I know Desiree and Smitty got some. Look.
I think it's one of the sayings that I like, examples that I hear and that I've used and I'm trying not to use is I'm just a bad test taker. I'm just a girl. No, you're not. You're a dynamic young woman that is developing into a trailblazer. Like I'm just a point guard. Like I don't know the rest of the team. I'm just like, when you get out of that limiting yourself, like I'm just no, you can be two things at one time. You can be a theater kid, you can be an athlete, you can be all academics, you can be a leader, you can be student government, you can be your child, your childhood's best friend, best friend of the world. Like you can be a lot of things at one time. So when you say I'm just it kind of limits you to I'm just that. And sometimes that actually is like how you operate. Like if you just think you're a basketball player, then you won't go hard in the classroom. You won't go hard and respect your parents and the chores and things you have to do at home. So when you say I can be, like you said, instead of I can't, I can. I'm capable of being this. I'm capable of going to college. I'm capable of picking up a trade. I'm capable of acing my test, even though I know I struggle with, reading or math or science, whatever it is. So that I'm just, it is a little limiting, not just for the world, but for yourself.
I think again, this is easy for me because you guys say everything, and I just got to come and put a bow on the present. You guys pretty much said everything that I wrote down some things, and I think again, identifying your positive, what makes you positive, what makes you feel positive, right, will kind of get you to where I'm trying to take this. Again, goes with the word use, right? If you can't, then you purposely chose that word can't. My grandson, but in the thing at the same time, I think as an older person, a seasoned person, I'm not old, just seasoned. It's understanding that youth come into this world as a blank. They don't know everything we think they should know. Bro, you're 5 years old. How do I expect you to boil an egg and fry it? Unless I introduce it to you. So I think it's the word use. And then if it does come up as a negative, then how do we transition that and let you say, okay, that's in the past. You couldn't do it before, like Sis said earlier, but now you can, right? Because either we did an experiment or you went to YouTube University or whatever the case is. I think the other part of that is, they got that saying like, show me four of your friends and then I'll show you who you are. Well, if you surrounding yourself with misery, then you probably gonna be misery. You're gonna be the fifth misery in that member family. You know, feel me? So again, identify what your positive is, make sure what you think you're positive, and then go surround yourself with other like-minded individuals. And then the tricky part, and I'm gonna shut up after this, is sometimes in a scenario where you are in a circle of positive people, everybody ain't gonna be positive every day. It might be up to you to carry that load. So, heavy is the shoulder that wears the crown. But then once you get into your safe harbor, it's okay to be tired. You have to tell yourself it's okay to be tired. I've been positive. I'm helping everybody else be positive when they was down. I'm gonna be okay, but I gotta say right now, I'm tired. I'm tired, but I'm okay. Right. And then that just, like I said, in a bow is regulating your emotional intelligence to the point where you understand. I had to carry the load for the group today, but it's okay. I seen what that was. It's not the straw that's going to crumble this show, right? Because tomorrow when I go in there tired and I let them know I'm tired, then I expect with my boundaries I created that someone else picks up the load and then I can do my business. You know what I'm saying? So I think, again, going back to the support group, identifying your positive and surround some folks with you that get down like you get. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody ruin the party, is basically what I'm saying.
I love that. Be the party. Hold on. I feel like y'all deserve the collection plate. Hold on.
Yeah,
Students,
come
I
on.
brought my collection plate, y'all.
Yeah, we dropping them monetarily valued.
Do we got the one with the money already in there? Or are we going empty with the red cloth?
Oh, so students, I'm gonna let y'all vote. Did they put the money in the plate or did they just serve the plate? I'm just saying.
Second show of the season. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna set the bar high.
Let's go. All right. Next question.
Someone said money. Okay. How can we avoid comparing ourselves to others in our self-talk?
Oh, the comparisons is real.
I love how that
I'm-
money plate disappeared.
Look, we ready. Listen.
It's hard.
I was-
It's hard. I honestly don't have a direct answer of not comparing yourself. It is human nature to see
Yeah.
one thing and just to say, oh, I admire that, or I understand that, or that is something that I would like to acquire. I think when comparison begins to turn into jealousy and envy, that's when it's unhealthy. So if, again, like just using the basketball analogy, if you see another team, you see something, you're like, man, I like the way he balls. Love the way she plays. I love the way they serve that. I love the way my teacher speaks, whatever it is. You can compare yourself and say, okay, I want to speak a little better. I want to improve myself. And you start taking those steps. But when it becomes, I want that they have, I want to do what they do, and I want to take their spot, that's when it becomes very negative and unhealthy and toxic, and it really weighs on you because you can't necessarily have exactly what they have, and even if you can, you don't want it. You don't want it in that way. So not me just saying I can't say there's no way, but it is difficult to not compare because we're in the day of social media. We're comparing things, all reviews, all of that, all the time. But it is important to decipher when you admire something and you can take those action steps, or when you're just jealous and envious and you want what they have. Exactly.
100%. That's exactly what I was thinking too, because we as humans are going to compete no matter what. We are just with a competitive nature. But when you are looking to something that you want to compare yourself to, I think that you should fix your mind to say, is this achievable for me? Rather than, well, how come they have and I don't? So that's exactly the mindset that I used when I said to myself, I'm not going back to school and get my master's degree, because the rooms and touching back on what Smitty said about show me four of your friends and I'll show you who you are. The rooms that I find myself in when I'm doing business look like rooms where there are people with letters behind their names. And so I say to myself, well, I know that I have over 20 years experience in the industry, and I recognize that there are people with a master's or a doctorate who have far less experience than me, 2 years fresh out of school. And yet there are people who will defer to those opinions, even though I have far more experience. And is this a moment where I should become envious of those people? No. This is a moment where I say, okay, this looks like something that I should try to figure out how to achieve so that I can earn the accolades, that earn the respect, that match the work that I've done. And so I would say to those people who are looking to compete and compare, look to achieve while you're looking to compete and compare. Match that energy.
Man, I felt like that was competition right there. Watch that energy, Smith. Whoa, hey, here we go. Drive by again. Drive by. I was just chilling. Um, as I sit here again listening to the wonderful ladies speak, and before I even go, sis, you know how I rock. Like, I really got to give y'all flowers right now because, man, I'm always humbled and grateful to be in the presence of beautiful Black women that are intelligent, that can speak their mind, authentic, show up just as you are. You know, I say that about my wife, my daughter, my sister, my cousins, like my aunties. Like, we need more of y'all. This world to be a better place if all of our institutions were filled with folks like you. I just need to say that. Speaking on with the about comparison, and I'll start with this because I wrote some things down. But the number one thing, and it's because it's gonna have ripple effects to everything I say, is from the great mind of Eldridge Cleaver and his book Soul on Ice. He wrote, hating someone is loving yourself less. You can kind of take that and move it into comparison because you're putting energy into somebody else and what they got, how they sound, how they look, or this whole vanity thing. You know what I'm saying? So I would say like emulation is cool because like I want to be like my cousin when I was younger, right? And then I want to be like my uncle. But a lot of that stuff wasn't working for me, so I had to become a little bit more eclectic in my engineering of the man that I wanted to be, right? So it's cool to want to be like somebody, but then maybe you don't need all of what that is. You know what I'm saying? And kind of make it yourself. Because again, ain't nothing wrong with wanting to be like someone. I think it's about in the construct of why are you? Why do you think you have to fit in, conform, or fit that mold? The great thing about vanity, it got a way to humble you, right? So before you even get to the place of failure, take what I said, the great words of Eldridge Cleaver, and then put this to it. And I wrote this down because sometimes we're not afforded the opportunity to be a genius. Genius lives outside the box. That's what makes you a genius. If you're trying to be incredible inside somebody else's box, you're just oppressing yourself. You know what I'm saying? You fit in they stereotype. So be great and let your genius flow outside of yourself. When I just walked in the house about an hour and a half ago, grandson come up to me, people, he come around the corner running. First thing I noticed, I'm like, God, what's up? Why you got two different socks on? Oh, because I like it. Oh, say less.
I love that. Don't judge his life, his creativity, his culture, his vision for himself and his feet. Nice. Next question.
What impact does positive self-talk have on long-term motivation?
That's one of those, you put it out there in the atmosphere and it becomes your truth questions.
Mhm.
So that goes right back to speaking over yourself, because they say when you write something down, you are far more likely to act on that thing. The same goes for speaking out loud your goals and your motivations for yourself. Because when you speak those truths, they become your truths. And the more often you speak it, the more likely it is that you are going to act on it. And later down the line, when you look back on what you've done and what you've achieved, you'll realize, like, oh yeah, I said 10 years ago, like I wrote it down. I said I was going to do this, and look at here, I did it. So you have to be very mindful. Things don't happen overnight, but the more you speak on it, you write those things down, and you believe in those goals for yourself, your vision for yourself, your mission for yourself, then the more likely you are to achieve those things in your future. And then you look back and you're like, yeah, I'm glad I did that for me.
Mhm. Yeah. It's good to have the positivity in a toolbox because you're going to need it one day. Like when you're alone, it's great with your friends, it's great with your family, but when you are alone and you're working on something, um, praying for something, it's just you. Like, Mrs. Perez was talking about the degree. Like she had at some point to say I can to get her first degree, to graduate high school, to get married, to own businesses, to stay 20 years in the industry that she's in. She had to at some point say she could do that. So now she's in front of you all confessing something that she's saying, again, I can, I will, I'm about to. Heck, she probably enrolled already. No, she probably enrolled. Okay, she already
I
graduated.
am.
We gonna claim the graduation. We gonna
I
love
be
to
trying to
like
get
the
Alexa
pictures.
to do my homework. She ain't trying to help me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody come help me with these assignments. I got a finals tomorrow. Okay.
Like, and then she multitasking at the same time. So she had to build that positivity toolbox and growth mindset to have it today. So the things you do now, if you have a vision, if you have a dream, if you have something that you want to do, it's important to speak on it. It's like she said, speak it over your life, so it can really manifest and become what it is that you said. And even if it's not what you said, at least you had a vision. We're not looking for perfection in that vision. It may not look anything like what you envision, but you were at least able to see further. Build your toolbox because you're going to need it. You're literally going to need it.
See, we on countdown, so I'm gonna keep it short and brief. Practice what you preach. If you're gonna talk about it, be about it. You know what I'm saying? People just, it's easy for us adults to sit here and tell you, go be, this growth mindset and do this and do that. Hey, practice what you preach. If you telling yourself you're gonna do this, if you're telling yourself you're gonna get an A on that test, right now, don't wait, don't write nothing. I don't want to say don't write nothing now. I'm just saying go do it right now. Go start studying right now. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna tell yourself you're gonna save some money, save 1 penny. If you got 1 penny, save it. Tomorrow you got 1 penny that you didn't spend. You know what I'm saying? Practice what you preach. The mindset. If I got 1 penny and I don't spend it today, tomorrow I'm gonna have 1 penny. I'm good. I didn't go backwards. See, we trying to add and multiply, not subtract and divide. If I got 1 penny, man, say that thing. There's 1 penny next day. Who's to say I'm not gonna get another penny? Now I got 2 pennies. Long as I don't say those, I'm making progress. Growth mindset. Even a penny can turn you into a millionaire. I'm not there yet. I got a couple more pennies to find, but best believe I'm saving my pennies. Twos and fews, baby. Twos and fews count.
He's right. That's that 1% improvement mindset. Even if you improve by 1% every day, 1% is not a lot to anybody, but 1% every day, those little baby steps, those practicing, what you preach, those 1% add up.
So I know I'm a little late, but I would
There you
add,
go, because I was about to ask though. So Mal, you just not gonna tell us nothing? Look.
yeah, I told you I have the little one, but I would add, because I know we're at the countdown, as much as you manifest, I've seen a lot of people manifest and miss that destination because they don't praise the moments that they're getting to that moment. So what I mean by that is those small pennies, celebrate every single win, because you will get to your destination due to the fact that you're bringing a certain positivity in the current moment. We surpass those moments and we still look forward instead of where we're at. And then we hit a hurdle, we forget what we've already accomplished. Celebrate where you are and you will get to your destination.
See, I was gonna close us out and I was gonna hit that. Now I don't even gotta hit that. Look, I don't have no more money to add to the plate, Mal. And I love how you just gonna come in, drop that nugget, and then bounce out. I'm just saying, we see what you did though.
And on that note,
Yes, so I add this little piece while we get ready to close out. But remember, it takes practice. So we know we're up here, we're saying all these things. We know it's not easy to do. Just like everything else, right? Changing a habit or starting something new takes time, and you're gonna have to be repetitive. You're gonna fail, and that's okay. Start again. But remember, only you determine what's a failure. So was it really a failure? So again, just continue to practice it, continue to say it, continue to surround yourself with people who can help uplift you and remind you of why you're doing what you're doing. Say the things out loud, write all the things down. And again, it's kind of like they said, when you write it down, you make it plain. When you say it out loud, now there's some truth behind it, right? Because other people heard it now. Kind of got to do a thing. So I gotta just say real quick, I'm grateful for those of you who joined in on Talk Tuesday. So before I go into closing remarks, because I know we got some new faces that some of you may not have seen. And so Leah Perez, my girl is twofold. Can you tell them about Wedding Wish and Candyland before we slide over?
absolutely. So yeah, I'm the owner of Candyland Designs, which is a couture cake bakery located in downtown Kissimmee. If you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead and check out Candyland Designs on Instagram. You'll find me upon ladders, putting together 6-foot tall cakes with chandeliers in them. The 6-foot castle that we did for medieval times that took up 3 6-foot long tables and was cut by a sword with the knight. You'll find these pinned to the top of the Instagram, so you ain't even got to scroll to see it. And then our nonprofit organization is Wedding Wish by Candyland Designs. And this nonprofit, I founded just because I wanted to give away one wedding cake to a couple in need. And this thing snowballed. Okay. So now we donating weddings to cancer survivors, mental health services to couples. We do wellness workshops for the community every last Saturday of the month at the American Legion. So if you check out the weddingwish.org website, you'll be able to learn more about what our nonprofit does. Come volunteer with us, come take a workshop. We are always on our positivity note. So come have fun with us.
I absolutely love her. She's a phenomenal partner to have. Love you, boo. And then Desiree, can you go ahead and share with them about Soul Outreach?
Of course. So hello, everyone. My name is Desiree Davis. I'm the co-founder and president of Soul Outreach. We are a nonprofit here in the Central Florida area. I'm born and raised from Orlando, West Orlando to be exact. So we are serving that community, connecting resources to the community. Currently, we have our programs specific to the homeless population and through the arts. So we are super excited to continue to develop our programming. Actually, Miss Abby has been helping me, and she dropped so many gems on me, y'all. Y'all have to appreciate the knowledge, the mentorship, just, everything that she contributes just to the world. Her positivity was just a light, especially in that moment where we were meeting. So yeah, so Soul Outreach, we're actually doing food distributions monthly downtown Orlando. So if you want to volunteer, heck, we might need to get a cake from Candyland Designs. I do have a wedding coming up, so
I got you. We'll call you.
they might need a sweet treat for summer as we, hopefully beat this heat right now. But yeah, this is a little bit about me and Soul and how we're developing in year 1.
I love it. I love it. And I can't wait to see how you guys grow and flourish, especially down there in Orlando. And I know you guys got to meet Malcolm last week. Malcolm from King Mal. Mal, you want to share anything? What you got coming up, Mal? Anything?
Quite a few things. But September 20th, we're doing a book launch that kind of incorporated with 4 different speakers and also painting. So it's gonna be a little different, not your typical. So we're working on trying to change tempo up a little bit. But that's September 20th, and I'll send you the flyer.
Perfect. And then Smitty has been our co-host for 3 years, y'all. It's been 3 years. It's 2 years. It's 3 years.
It's faux. It's faux. F-O. Faux. It's faux. Faux. That's new math. I don't know if that's new math or core math, but they're doing away with Department of Education, so I'm gonna just say faux until they prove me wrong.
1, 2,
Just
3,
saying.
4.
See, she know.
So Smith, what you got new? Because Smith is all the way in Cali, y'all. So he joins us from California. What's new?
Hey, East Oakland product for sure. So man, it's crazy. So we just did a youth yoga camp over the summer. Introducing young people to breathing techniques, coping skills through body movement. Because a lot of young Black boys get put out of class because sometimes we're not afforded the opportunity to express ourselves. And most of us, including myself, I express myself through movement, which then becomes an imitation or intimidating to the teacher in the classroom. So the easiest way to cope with us is to put us out. So we did that. That was cool. Probably gonna have some more coming up. I know it's fall, so football season. I know it's a lot going there. Working with my daughter, we got a Black market coming up, probably late fall, where we're going to have local small Black-owned businesses come out and set up a tent or whatever, sell their stuff, their goods, their services, their products. Just kind of, I don't want to say reinvent, but kind of reimagine the Green Book theory and system. You know what I'm saying? So our Black dollars stay in our Black community. And then probably hopefully before the holidays, because I know it's hectic, we're going to do a Black workshop where we're going to have multiple workshops. One is going to be parenting skills, financial lit, school interaction, how to re-roll in school if you're an adult, if you need those services. I'm going to bring in an attorney that I know that does immigration. So we're going to have some immigration information out there for the people. Again, really, man, just trying to be the vehicle of information. That's what I want to. I want to be the vehicle of information to the people. There's wonderful programs like your sis and these wonderful ladies, and it needs to be put out there. Like, this is what we're doing. We have so many wonderful Black people doing so many wonderful things. We just have to work in unison so we can really bring that Green Book theory to fruition, so we can see it, and we're not kind of just throwing darts here and there, reinventing the wheel at every turn. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to be the vehicle of information for the people. Thank you for the opportunity. Sis, I love you.
I'm so proud of each and every one of y'all. Keep doing the work that you're doing, because again, the community needs all the things that we can provide. So, we got to keep going, and that's why we a team. So as we wrap up this week's Power of Positivity, I want you all to remember that change doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen with intention. The beautiful thing about developing a growth mindset is that you can start right now, right where you are, with whatever challenge you're facing today. Whether you're listening as a young person, navigating school, relationships, or figuring out what your future is, or as a parent, an educator, or a mentor supporting the youth in your life. Over the next 4 weeks, again, we're going to make it as transformative as possible. So hopefully y'all learned something from each speaker in here today, because they dropped some nuggets. Look, we had to drop the collection plate with the money. We couldn't even put the empty collection plate up. Look. So we're going to give you as many practical tools, real strategies, and the encouragement you need to see setbacks as setups for comebacks. So for Steps Foundation, don't forget to check out our upcoming events that you can find on our website at www.stepsfoundation.org/events. We are doing program open house August 14th and the 30th. So there's still time if you are a teen and you need to get registered and do our orientation. There's time for you to still do that. We have What You Got Cooking, our virtual cooking class, coming up on August 20th. And it's virtual and it's done through our Survival Spark series. It's fun, it's interactive, we stay engaged, and we cook a thing together. So there's time and space for you guys to still register for that. And did I mention it's free? If you are a teen in the community that is looking for leadership and advocacy skills, our youth program ambassador applications are still open, and we're getting ready to start launching initiatives for September. So you guys still have time to put your application in and get ready to join us. We also have Building Your Inner Power workshop that's going to be done through our Healing and Community Initiative, which is a mental health initiative for our youth and their families. So we have a free workshop coming up on the 29th that is still open. You guys can register for it. And then in the beginning of September, we have Suspects and Secrets, which is our murder mystery, and it will be in person. So grab your tickets, come hang out with us, come do a thing. So again, we thank you all for being a part of Talk Tuesday this month. Remember, the power of positivity is always within you. Stay strong, stay curious, and most of all, stay true to yourself. Until next time, stay inspired and stay empowered. We'll see y'all next week.